Kabul, armed Taliban fighters entered Afghanistan's capital on Sunday, a spokesman for the group said, as the U.S. rushed to evacuate all personnel 2 decades after toppling the militant regime. Just months after President Joe Biden announced the full withdrawal of U.S. forces, the militant group's rapid advance across the country had left the Afghan government on the brink of collapse. U.S. officials had clearly not anticipated a possible fall of Kabul this quickly, and were scrambling both to protect their staff and to explain the defeat politically. The Taliban ordered their fighters to enter Kabul because they believed police had deserted all their positions, a Taliban spokesman told NBC News. NBC News could not confirm these claims. The spokesman urged Kabulis to remain calm. Earlier, Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said fighters would be on standby on all entrances of Kabul until a peaceful and satisfactory transfer of power is agreed. In a separate statement to NBC News, a Taliban spokesman said that those entering Kabul are unarmed on instructions from senior commanders. U.S. forces were evacuating all staff from the city's American embassy after Biden authorized the deployment of 5,000 troops to the country. The embassy will close once all personnel are transferred out, a person familiar with the situation told NBC News, and there have been intense negotiations with the Taliban for safe passage. The evacuation comes at the end of a rapid U.S. troop withdrawal launched in April, and only weeks before the last remaining American forces were due to depart under an August 31 deadline set by Biden. The president has remained steadfast in spite of the Taliban blitz. A White House official said on Sunday that Biden had spoken to members of his national security team on the situation in Afghanistan and would continue to receive updates throughout the day. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told Chuck Todd on Meet the Press that the president was focused first and foremost on the safety and security of U.S.
personnel. He said the U.S. would maintain a core diplomatic presence, and in effect an embassy, at a location at Kabul's airport. We've been very clear with the Taliban at any effort on their part to interrupt our operations, to attack our forces, to attack our personnel, would be met with a very strong, decisive response, he said. Blinken said the inability of the Afghan security forces to defend their country played a very powerful role in the rapid Taliban takeover of parts of the country. But he said that in terms of the threat posed to the United States before September 11th, he thought America was in a much better place. In a nationwide offensive that has taken just over a week, the militants encircled the Afghan capital as the group surprised Washington, Kabul and even its own fighters with the speed of the campaign. The Taliban advance and ensuing collapse of the Afghan government has sent large numbers of civilians fleeing their homes, seeking refuge both from the fighting and the prospect of the Islamist regime that ruled the country before 2001 being reimposed. In Kabul, thousands of people were living in parks and open spaces. Hundreds of people also gathered in front of private banks, trying to withdraw their life savings, while some ATMs stopped distributing money. On Sunday, Afghan forces at Bagram Air Base, once a bustling mini-city that saw more than 100,000 U.S. troops pass through its gates, also surrendered to the Taliban, 2 U.S. defense officials told NBC News. Speaking on the condition of anonymity because they were not officially authorized to comment, the defense officials added that the militant group had started to release prisoners from the Parwan detention facility, some of whom were hardened Taliban and al-Qaeda fighters. The insurgents also captured the eastern city of Jalalabad, giving them control of one of the main highways into landlocked Afghanistan. They also took over the nearby Torkham border post with Pakistan, leaving Kabul airport the only way out of Afghanistan that is still in government hands.
These advances came after Mazar-e-Sharif, the country's fourth-largest city, fell on Saturday to give the insurgents control over all of northern Afghanistan. Ahmed Munli reported from Kabul, Mushtaq Yousafzai reported from Peshawar, Pakistan, Ria Mogul reported from Hong Kong, and Andrea Mitchell and Courtney Kuba reported from Washington. This story was originally published on NBCnews.com.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.